The Hartford Hurricanes have dominated Division I football in Vermont over the last 5 years. But after losing many important seniors from last year's championship team, Coach Mike Stone's Hurricanes are ready to storm into the 2013 playoff picture. Their opponent tonight are the Colonels from Brattleboro Union, who are anchored by one of the biggest players in the state, 6'5", 340-pound Chigna Dukor. Tonight we'll see if the Hurricanes can come together to take on powerful Brattleboro. It's the Colonels versus the Hurricanes next on the YCU Game of the Week.
Welcome to Hartford High School in Hartford, Vermont, where tonight the three-time defending state champion Hurricanes take on their Route 91 rival Brattleboro Colonels on the YCU Game of the Week. Hi everyone, I'm Ray Lemire, joined by Andy Morris. Let's take a quick look at those Vermont Division I standings. And Andy, Hartford needs a win tonight if they harbor any hopes of returning to the state championship game for a fourth consecutive year.
That's right, Ray. With 3 teams still undefeated in the division, with only 4 teams qualifying for the postseason, the Hurricanes cannot afford a second division loss. To accomplish that, Hartford will need to establish their running game early and find a way to slow down Brattleboro's passing attack.
Opening kickoff is just a moment away. The Hurricanes need big games from quarterback Greg Shin and running back Dylan Rice. The Colonels are going to have to try to keep pace with their outstanding quarterback Kyle Patno and wide receiver Tanner Freeman. We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
And the opening kickoff, Hartford Hurricanes will be kicking off. They'll be going left to right on your screen here in the first half. Back to receive the kickoff for the Brattleboro Colonels is number 3, Cassidy Ramirez, and number 10, Max Bostwick, a name you'll hear a lot tonight when the Colonels have the ball. And the kickoff goes down to Ramirez, goes through his fingers, rolling towards the end zone. That'll be picked up, and they're going to say it did not touch his fingers, because if that did, that would have been safety material. So it went over his hand into the end zone, and it's a touchback, and Brattleboro will take over first down and 10.
That's one play and one break for the Colonels, because that looked to be bounced off the receiver's hands.
I thought it did. Kyle Patno is your quarterback for the Colonels. Guy's got a cannon for an arm. Senior. And I guess the plan here is to try to run it against the Hurricanes, and we'll see how quickly they find out if that works or not. It's going to be handout to number 11. That is Michael Rooney. And Rooney stopped after a very short gain, about 2 yards.
Michael Rooney on the carry.
Yes, and number 44 for the Hurricanes, Justin Loosby. He penetrated there and stopped the first dive of the play. Hartford trying to send a message from the first play of the game.
Last week, the Colonels were held at 1.8 yards per carry against South Burlington. And they also fumbled the ball and lost the ball 4 times. Can't afford that against Hartford. So second down and 8, just underway here in the first quarter. Patno under center. Little pitch to the left side this time. And again it's to Rooney, and he is driven down hard, just short of the 25-yard line. Maybe picked up a yard on that play. So it's going to make a third down and 7.
44 for the Hurricanes.
Losby got another one.
Losby, 2 tackles, 2 plays.
Defensive player of the game.
Short gain on that play. Third down and 6.
Speaking of player of the game, stay tuned later for the Kearsarge Oil Trimming Up the Heat play of the game. We'll have that at the end of the contest. Third down and long. This might be a good time to see if they can open up the passing attack. Tanner Freeman splits out wide left. Bostwick is far right. Patno looking for Bostwick and throws it complete for the first down. Tackled and brought down by Dylan Rice. Back for first down pass.
Good throw, good catch by Bostwick. We went up and got the ball at its highest point, didn't let the defender make the play. He made it himself.
So on a third and long, the Colonels convert. First down and 10, the ball up to about the 32-yard line. 10:30 to go in the first quarter. No score. Ray Lemire alongside Andy Morse. And we also have a stat man tonight, Mr. David Nelson.
That wasn't about a 7-yard pass play.
That was about an 8-yard pass play, actually. They needed 7, they got 8, so it's first down and 10. The ball spotted at the 32-yard line. Let's see if they go back to the run. They do again. Dive over the middle that time for number 21, Adam McPhail. And that picks up just a couple yards.
3 runs, 1 pass, Ray. All 3 runs to the left. That looks to be the strong side for the Colonels.
Speaking of strong, we are about to see tonight the strong defense for the Colonels, led by a young man who is listed at 6'5", 345 pounds. Looking forward to that on defense. I'm sure the Hurricanes aren't. Hand the ball off again. No, it's a fake. Now it's a pitch. Bobble for a second. But Rooney maintained possession. I thought he was going to lose it, but he works his way up to about the 38-yard line. So it turns into about a 3-yard, maybe a 4-yard gain.
That could just be some opening game jitters for number 11, Michael Rooney. His first carry of the game. Bobbled it when he got it, but he hung on. Let's see if he can put those fumbling problems to rest.
It brings up a third down and a long 4 yards. The ball spotted at the 38-yard line. They have to get up to the Brattleboro 42. Beautiful evening for football.
Once the sun goes down, the warm stays in this fall
Hand off,
season.
they try to bust it up the middle, nothing there. That was a handoff to Colby McGinn, and he got stuck at the 40-yard line. Pick up for about a yard and a half. That's going to bring up a 4th down for the Colonels.
Hartford has looked extremely stout up the middle. Runs to the wide side of the field and passes are the only way that the Colonels have moved the ball.
Dylan Rice and Jacob Perkins back to receive the expected punt.
Number 25, Jacob Perkins.
By the way, throughout the night, you'll be able to hearing in the background the public address announcer here at Hartford, Mr. B.J. Ocker. Colonel's ready to snap. It's a pretty good snap and a pretty good kick. That's going down to Perkins. He'll take it at the 23, run to the left side, gets away from one tackler, but brought down hard at about the 24. So only about a 1-yard return. And this is where the Hurricanes will take over first down and 10. And they are going to be led by senior quarterback Greg Shin. He's the only starter in the backfield returning from last year's championship team. You know that last year, of course, the Hurricanes graduated a truckload of players, including Josh Claflin, who played a key role in helping Hartford earn their 3rd straight state title.
Not only did Claflin play a huge role, he scored 23 touchdowns last season. That is almost impossible to replace with just one player.
They've got a ton of rotating backs they can put in the lineup. Let's see what Shin's first play is. They'll hand the ball off the left side, and busting over the left side is Patrick Labuda. Labuda has been their main carry this year. He started out the game with 278 yards rushing.
6 yards on that carry. 2nd down and 4 for Hartford.
You know, you were talking about Claflin's touchdown production last year. There's a kid in Windsor, Ethan Hill, who was rushed for 770 yards in the first 3 weeks of the season and 11 touchdowns.
11 in 3 weeks?
Yeah, we're going to be seeing him down the road. That'll be fun.
That'll be a reason to tune in for that Windsor game of the week coming up.
2nd down and 4 after the 6-yard pickup. They again go it straight up over the middle. Tackle made that time by Mark Dixon.
Short gain for the Hartford Hurricanes. Going to bring up 3rd and short. They're probably going to pound the ball. I'm going to predict early in the game. I don't see a lot of passes from Hartford.
That was Nolan Bienz on the carry. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3 for the Hurricanes. Their first possession. Clock running, 7:05 to go here in the first quarter. No score on the YCU game of the week. Shin fakes it one way, then hands it to Tuckerman and face straight through. That's going to be a run down the left side and a nice run that time to Patrick Labuda. Carries it all the way down to the 48-yard line. First down and 10 to Hartford.
And Labuda didn't waste time in the open field, made the safety miss, broke it off for another 5 yards before the far safety could make the tackle.
He was the second man through.
48-yard line.
So the Hurricanes convert their first third and long play. Ball spotted just short of midfield at the 48. Shin will hand it off this time. That is Dylan Rice. He scoots to the right, scoots to the left, now back to the middle, and he brings it down to the 30, but gets a little more, gets down to the 28. 30-yard gain.
And Dylan Rice with an impressive run there.
Well, I like the way he stutter stepped his way after he broke through the initial wall. He cut left, cut right, cut left.
Breaking tackles everywhere, Ray. He's shifty, tough to get a handle on, and tough to get an angle on. Even though you want to grab cloth, there's not much of him to grab.
He started out the week with 157 yards on the ground.
On that carry by Dylan Rice.
First down and 10 for the Hurricanes. Rice in motion left to right. Shin back to pass. He rolls to the right. Looks for an open receiver. He's got one down in the end zone. Is it going to count? Did he hold it? He did not. It's a great catch, but he could not hold on to it and was out of the end zone anyway.
Pass intended for 24, Kiefer Harrelson.
Number 24, Kiefer Harrelson, laid out for that catch.
He did.
Just inside the close pylon. He was down inbounds, but the referee ruled the ball made contact with the ground.
I don't think it would have mattered anyways. We have a flag on the play. I'll wait for the call here. We got holding against the Hurricanes, so that's going to come back. Hey, tune in every week for a new Kearsarge Chronicle or Upper Valley Chronicle. They premiere at 6 and 6:30 p.m. every Saturday night, right here on YCU, your local view. So that's going to make up a first down and 20 for the Hurricanes as the ball gets moved back all the way to the 44-yard line. What I want to talk about was that the way Shin threw the ball on the run, very impressive arm. First and 20. They'll hand the ball off. Labuda tries the left side, gets inside the 40. Pick up of about 5 yards, so it'll bring up a second down and 15.
Something I noticed early from this Hartford offense is Shin and his offensive backfield. They're very aggressive. Dylan Rice broke off a 30-yard gain. Shin rolled out, had the drag route open 15 yards down the field, but went for the deep post 25 yards down the field, looking for the touchdown early.
One thing they have not done, we've got a Hartford elects to take their first timeout. So there's a timeout on the field, 5:28 to go in the first quarter, no score. We'll be back right after this on YCU.
This YCN segment is brought to you by MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
This portion of the YCU Game of the Week is brought to you by DNA and Hospice of Vermont and New Hampshire, providing the highest quality home health care and hospice services to individuals and their families throughout the Connecticut River Valley region.
5:28 to go in the first quarter before we get back to play. Here's a look at the future Hurricanes. Got to look at the mini Canes from the Hartford Middle School preparing for their game. And that's one of the great things about Hartford is the feeder program. And had a chance to say a couple words to these kids and wish them the best of luck down the road. The Hartford Mini Canes. Right now, the Hartford Hurricanes are looking at second down and 20. Hits the ball right side. That's Dylan Rice again. He eludes two tacklers. And it's trying to be brought down by Andy Seebeck. But after about maybe about a 7-yard gain. One of the things I started to say they haven't done yet is run to their left or to the right side of the Brattleboro defensive line. Because if you look at number 78 out there, that's the guy we were referring to earlier.
Third down and 16 for Hartford.
Shednick Bukor, 6'5", 345 pounds.
His size alone at 6'5", 340, right? It is imposing.
Yeah, I'd say it is. Do a counter play, and this time it's going to be a run to the left side, down the line, down to the 15, and down to the 15.
Great counter play there. They got Jakor to bite into the middle of the line of scrimmage, and they busted it to his right side, their left, for a long gain.
Labuda with another long gain.
Close to a first down.
We're going to have to measure.
Officials will take a timeout to measure.
And while they measure, if your business might be interested in sponsoring Game of the Week or advertising with us, email info@ycunow.com, and we'll be happy to send you out a package with all the details. Here's a measurement very close. What do your eyes say? First down. So the Buddha's run did it. 16-yard gain.
And Ray, like you just mentioned, they ran right at Decor, but they needed the counter. They needed that one step from Decor.
Well, you're right. You're right. Also, when they did the fake handoff, he bid on that big time. So then when the counter play came in behind it, he was lost in the shuffle. First down and 10. Ball just inside the 20. We're going to call it the 18-yard line. The Hurricanes steadily marching down the field. In the ball off this time up the middle to number 12.
That's number 12, Greg Shin on the keeper.
Greg Shin, he kept it himself. He gained about 4 or 5 yards, pick up a second down.
By number 2.
That's the first rush for Shin. He usually hands it off to his backs. Coach Mike Stone is using all his backs in the backfield, keeping the defense honest.
Cameron Gaudette, wide receiver, has just checked in. Senior, they got a lot of, they graduated a truckload of seniors from last year's squad, but they've got an awful lot of them here, especially at wide receiver. Shin under center. Takes a snap, fakes one handoff. We're on the left side again. Dylan Rice. He's going to scoot into the end zone. Touchdown, Hartford.
Pure speed from Rice. He got the edge right off the line of scrimmage, and he took it to the pylon without opposition.
Nobody in his way. 6-0 Hartford. It comes with 3:24 to go here in the first quarter. Very nice about a 75-yard drive. Even penalties couldn't slow him down.
And that drive could have ended much quicker with that touchdown pass that was called back. But Dylan Rice brought it around the end for a touchdown regardless.
Hurricanes going for the extra point. The kick is up from Rice. That is no good. Wide left. 3:24 to go here in the first quarter. Hartford Hurricanes 6, Brattleboro Colonels nothing on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
This portion of the YCU Game of the Week is brought to you by Mascoma Savings Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. Mascoma Savings Bank is mutually owned and not for sale.
And welcome back. As we come back, is a shot of nearby Queechee Gorge taken by our colleague, Mr. Nelson. Vermont's Grand Canyon. Hurricanes up by 6 after the 16-yard touchdown run. Back to receive the kickoff coming up. It's Boswick and Ramirez. Both standing a little deeper than they were on the opening kickoff. That's going to be Ramirez at about the 10-yard line. Heads to the middle, slices to the left, back up to the right side. And it'll be brought down at about the 30, just short of the 30, about the 28-yard line. Now let's take a look at that 16-yard touchdown.
That's right. Quarterback Greg Shin fakes the dive, has his back to the line of scrimmage, hands it off to Rice, flies to his left, does not meet a Brattleboro Colonel on his way to the end zone. Great play side blocking by the Hartford Hurricane offensive line.
That hold was so big that I might have been able to make it, but maybe not. First down and 10 for the Colonels. They don't want to fall too far behind this Hurricane team. They'll keep it on the ground and drilled. First of all, grabbing around the ankles, number 36. That is Nolan Bienz. He wrapped up Ramirez quickly. About a 2-yard loss.
He came screaming from the defensive backfield, just off the line of scrimmage. No one blocked him. He came screaming in, Ray. He made the tackle. First one there, first one to bring him to the ground.
Wrap up those ankles. Hard to run. Second down and 12 for the Colonels. 2:55 to go here in the first quarter. Pitch the ball to the right side this time. Back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe a yard or two after that. That was Ramirez again on the carry. He is out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. So it's going to bring up a third down and 8. And once again, the Colonels find themselves in a long situation, 3rd and long.
Quarterback for the
Gain of nearly
Colonels,
4 on that
Kyle
play.
Patno.
3rd down and 8
Coach
for
John
Brattleboro.
Callahan said he was impressed with Patno's passing skills, and
Yeah.
he's going to have to put those skills to the test right now.
Indeed he is. He has shown the one I think I like about it when he's back to pass. He shows a lot of poise. He's going to have to do it here. Now he's forced out of the pocket, dumps it off to the right side. That's to Ramirez, who stutter steps his way up to about the 35, where he will be about 4 yards short of a first down.
Pass is complete from Patno
Good
to
team
Ramirez.
speed from Hartford there. They were beaten on the screen, not a lot of players at the point of attack, but they rallied quickly and snuffed out that 3rd down pass.
4th down and 4 for Brattleboro.
So the Colonels face another punting situation. This time the nose of the ball right at the 35-yard line. 1:40 and running to go here in the first quarter. That is flying by.
Back to punt for Brattleboro is number 88, Kevin Powell.
Kevin Powell, ball goes over the punter's head. He's going to have to kick it. He does not have a chance to get it away, and so he's going to be run down and dropped at about the 10-yard line. Bad snap.
That was a bad snap over his head. Did not have time, like you said, Ray, to get it away. No kick was able to be put in play. That is a bad, bad mistake for the Colonels. They can't have self-inflicted wounds like that.
You know, it's easy to say from up here and second guess, but he might have been better off just kicking it through the end zone for a safety. Because right now, Hartford with a 6-0 lead and knocking on the door again. Ball right at the 10-yard line. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Clock stopped with the turnover. 1:23 to go in the first quarter. Hartford coming off a tough non-state game last week. Have another timeout on the field, I believe. Timeout is called by the Hartford Hurricanes. With 1:21 to go here in the first quarter, Hartford leads 6-0 on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by New London Hospital, an affiliate of Dartmouth Hitchcock.
This portion of the YCU Game of the Week is brought to you by New London Hospital, a community hospital committed to safe, quality care and a patient and family-centered care environment, resulting in a healthier community.
So the Hurricanes ready now, 1st down and 10 after their second timeout. Coach Mike Stone comes off the field in his 27th year. They'll hand the ball off left side, and that time the big guy wraps him up.
36,
Second
Nolan
and 2 for
Viennes hit by a wall
stops
of Colonels.
Nolan Viennes. Viennes on the carry, but he ran into the
Led by
345-pound
78, Ducour.
Viennes was swallowed up as soon as he hit the line of scrimmage. I lost sight of him, but he was taken down to the ground by Ducour.
So that's the one time they tried to run at him, it didn't work. The big fella wrapped him up. He's from Seneca, by the way. I heard that from the Brattleboro announcers who are down here to our left.
2nd down and 10 for Hartford.
2nd down and 10. No gain on the play, maybe a loss of half a yard. Shin in the shotgun formation. We got a whistle.
Brattleboro
Looks
calls
like a false
timeout.
start. Well, they're saying Brattleboro called timeout, but it's not what the flag was. It was a false
Correction,
start.
delay a game, Hartford. Five-yard penalty, 2nd down and
Coming up at
15.
halftime, we'll have highlights and stats brought to you by Lake Sunapee Bank, VNA, and Hospice, and also brought to you by our colleague Dave Nelson, who is working feverishly, actually working harder than he's worked in years, to our left. Hurricanes strictly playing a ground game. They've thrown it once tonight, an incomplete pass into the end zone. This is 2nd down, call it 15 now. Pitch it to the right side, and it's complete.
Pass is complete
Pass
to
complete to
Torino.
Nick Torino, but not much of a gain on it. May have gained back about
Stopped by number
2 yards, so it's going to bring up a
Tanner
3rd
Freeman
down,
for Brattleboro.
and still about 15 yards to go.
Stepping up for that play for the Colonels was number 25,
No
Tanner
gain on
Freeman,
that
the
play.
cornerback.
3rd
Made a
down.
great form tackle.
And that's the end
ended
of the
that
first
play
quarter.
quickly.
Hartford Hurricanes.
That's the end of the
6
first quarter. The Hartford
Brattleboro
Hurricanes lead at
Colonels
6-0 over the Brattleboro Colonels on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
This portion of the YCU Game of the Week is brought to you by Mascoma Savings Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. Mascoma Savings Bank is mutually owned and not for sale.
And we get ready to start the second quarter of the YCU Game of the Week, and we take a look at a train leaving the White River Junction rail station. Been around for a long time. Once again, thanks to Dave Nelson for that shot. 3rd down and 9 for the Hurricanes. Shen once again going to the end zone, and it is batted away. Very good defensive play that time. Looked like it was made by Michael Rooney.
And that was a good play by Rooney, Ray. But there was a cluster of Colonels there.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see Shin put it in the corner of the end zone. That is a safe place usually, but with 3 defenders in the vicinity, that was a little bit of a risky throw.
So it brings up a 4th down and 9 for the Colonels. And will they go for the field goal? Will they go for the first down? Looks like we're going to get the field goal attempt as Shin, who is also the holder. Kick is the attempt being made by Nick Torino. Snaps down the hole. The kick is up. The kick is no good, wide right. So the fumble way back when with a bad snap didn't cost the Colonels. They wind up with the ball and still trailing at just 6-0. We'll be back with their first play right after this timeout on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
This portion of the YCU Game of the Week is brought to you by MJ Harrington and Company Jewelers, a small-town family-owned jewelry store in Newport, New Hampshire, dedicated to craftsmanship and quality service.
1st down and 10 for the Colonels after that timeout. 11:54 to go here in the first half. And they get the ball back. Still struggling to find their offense. Pitch the ball left side and hit immediately, but struggling to get away. Nice run that time by Jake Gaborio. He got hit right at the line of scrimmage, but bounced off that and managed to pick up 2 yards, which is about what Brattleboro's averaging tonight.
Yes, Brattleboro, that's their 8th carry, and that's about 17 yards for Brattleboro. That is very, very inefficient. They need at least 3 yards a carry. That's what you want to get to have a good flow to the offense.
Well, they got 2 yards there. 2nd down and 8. Again, up the middle and bouncing off a few would-be tacklers and fighting his way up to about the 30-yard line. Michael Rooney has made a great defensive play in the end zone on a pass attempt. Now he scrambles up to just short of the first down. It's going to be a 3rd down and about 1 yard to go.
Rooney, a two-way player, making moves on the offensive side. Broke tackles, did a spin move. Very, very impressive play by Rooney. They're going to need that, the Colonels are.
This, I hate to say it this early in the game with 10:50 to go in the first half, but this is a really big play for Brattleboro. They've got to make something go here. They will try going straight up the middle, and it's going to be very close. Looks like from where they're spotting the ball that he's got the first down.
And for Patno, that was a straight up the center's bum 1st down run. He took the snap, and the offensive linemen, they surged forward in a wedge, and they got what they needed.
1st down and 10 for the Colonels. Ball spotted at about the 31-yard line. Wide receivers put out wide left, but they'll keep it on the ground and grind out another 2 or 3 yards.
You said the word, Ray, grind. This is a wishbone offense for the Colonels.
Yeah.
What they do is they pound the ball in the middle, on the edge, but they're going to run it. They're going to run it almost every play, and they're going to need 3 yards, 4 yards if they want to get first downs. They have yet to break midfield for the Hurricanes.
That was Colby McGinn on the carry, and he did pick up Andy Morse's 3 yards, so it's 2nd down and 7. Split out wide right. Tanner Freeman hits the ball. Gaborio gets nailed as soon as he touches the ball and gets absolutely drilled by Viennes in the carry. Yeah, Nolan Viennes on his 2nd big tackle of the night.
And Viennes had the pitch man all the way on that defense. It was one-on-one defense, 1 man for each ball carrier. But Patno, the Colonels quarterback, he didn't pose a running threat, so Viennes had an easy decision to make.
3rd down and 7 with 9:25 to go here in the first half. Patno splits up, Tanner to the right. Boswick to the left, passing situation. They go for Tanner. He catches it and is dropped immediately. Good tackle that time by Cameron Gaudette, another senior for this Hartford Hurricane squad. They pick up some yardage on it, about 5 yards, but it's going to bring up a 4th down and maybe a short 2, long 1.
Ray, I like what I'm seeing from number 25, Tanner Freeman for the Colonels. He had a nice form tackle early in open space, and now he came back to the ball as a receiver. That is helping your quarterback out when you come back to the ball.
Here's a gamble, 4th down and 1 in your own territory. They're going to go for it. Patno looks to the left. They did not make it. I'm not sure who wound up with the ball in the end, but he's surrounded by blue, I can tell you that. Patno on the keeper actually manages to lose about half a yard because he was wrapped up by 5 different Blues jerseys.
And Ray, Hartford was not falling for the QB sneak again. They had 3 players in the A gaps, the gaps on either side of the center. 3 players pinched in, prevented that sneak from gaining any yardage.
So costly, not costly, a decision to go for it on 4th down fails. And the Hurricanes, who've shown they don't have a lot of problems running the ball tonight, take over at the Brattleboro 40, 1st down and 10. Shin will hand it off to Dylan Rice. He'll sweep the right side, and he brought down at about 2:32.
A lot of misdirection there, a couple handoffs from Shin, and he bootlegged, but he handed it to Rice on the sweep. It had me confused. I had to find the ball for a moment, but Rice, not confused at all, punching it ahead for a good 8-yard gain.
Tanner Freeman on the tackle. 2nd down and 2 as the Hurricanes continue to run the ball. 8:10 to go here in the first half. Hartford's home opener. Actually, they only have 3 home games this season. Coming to the game with a record of 1-2, 1-1 in the division. Shin back to pass, lofts a high beauty, but severely overthrows Dylan Rice. On the coverage that time was Max Bostwick.
Bostwick stands taller than Rice, so if Shin wants to get him the ball deep, he has to throw a very accurate, low slung ball, because if he throws it up, Rice, he may not be able to jump over the taller defender.
So it brings up a 3rd down and 2. And Hartford fell after the 1st down carry of 8 yards by Dylan Rice. They could afford to put it up in the air, and I would expect to see him now just to pick up those 2 yards and pick up another 1st down and start over again. They lead it 6-0 in the YCU game of the week. Ray Lemire alongside Andy Morse and Dave Nelson. They'll pitch the ball. It's on the ground, picked up. Dylan Rice manages to somehow hold on to it before he is brought down, and he is brought down in the end by Shekna Dukor. Now, that's not bad for a guy that big to be able to string along the line of scrimmage and wrap a speedy runner up.
That's right, Rice is elusive. Smaller back, very shifty as we noted earlier, but Dukor stuck right with him.
He did.
Made it down the line of scrimmage. He was not denied by a backside blocker.
So again, we're looking at a 4th down situation. Hartford 4th down and 2. Too close to punt, too far for a field goal. So what the heck, it was a free series anyways. They'll hand the ball off. 1st down and more to the right side. Down the sideline as they're going to squid into the end zone.
Great
Patrick Labuda.
Great run by Labuda. He broke the line of scrimmage, broke a tackle at the 20-yard line. The man had him high, but he shoved him off with his shoulders and took it in for the score.
Patrick Labuda on a 4th down and 2 with a 31-yard touchdown carry. And it comes with 7 minutes to go here in the first half. Dylan Rice on to attempt the extra point. This kick is up. This kick is good. So, Hartford Hurricanes now with a 13-0 lead. 7 minutes to go. We're back to the kickoff right after this timeout on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
This portion of the YCU Game of the Week is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Region DNA and Hospice. They partner with physicians and hospitals throughout the region to care for patients in their homes.
You can watch any of our programs on demand at ycunow.com. Tune in whenever you want for local news, public affairs, and sports on YCU, your local view. Hartford Hurricanes preparing to kick off again. Doing the kicking, number 43, Nick Torino. It's a line drive kick, like a squib kick. At the 30, number 32 picks it up at the 32-yard line. And after Alex Harrison is brought down. Lindsay picked up a yard in the process of running it back. So Hartford will be on the kickoff, and the Colonels pick up a first down and 10 at about the 33-yard line.
So far, Ray, the Colonels' offense has been in neutral. They've only accumulated about 20 yards of rushing, and Patrick LeBouta's touchdown run for the Canes was 31 yards.
He's outdoing them. Yeah.
The Hartford Hurricanes are being explosive on offense. The Colonels need to try a long pass play. They need to get momentum.
Yeah, well, my theory going in was that they were going to have to put it in the air because they could not compete with them on the ground. And we've got a flag. That may be a legal procedure. We did have a man in motion. And we'll wait for the call. It's going to go against the Colonels. Five-yard penalty.
Coach Callahan can't be happy with that. The Colonels set themselves up with first and long. It's going to be a tough sledding to get back to that first down stick.
Waiting for B.J. Ocker to make the call. They're here saying it was made for illegal equipment. Trying to go up the middle that time. Saborio. He's been their big running back this year, and so far, not much there. Troy Nadeau on the tackle.
And Gaborio breaks the 30 yards of offense for the Colonels tonight. They need a big play. They've been stagnant so far, but they need they need a bootleg with a long pass. They need somebody to break a tackle and take it 30 yards. They need to get some confidence.
How do they measure up, with Brattleboro's offensive output? They're amazing. They're going to try passing again. Freeman is open down the right sideline, but overthrown. He got free, and as they say on the NFL, he got separation, but the pass was about 5 or 6 yards past him. Did a good fake at about his own 45 and got past the defender and was open, but incomplete.
And Ray, that's what I'm talking about. Coach Callahan dialed up a long pass. I like that. I like the aggressive play call. But Freeman would have had to made an impressive catch to catch that. Would have had his body over the out-of-bounds marker with his feet inbounds. Tough place to catch the ball.
He's got to make an impressive pass here because now it's 3rd down and 11. Rooney splits out near side right. Back to pass again. And it's dropped. He hit the receiver, Gaborio. But as Gaborio started to turn to run with the ball, he had some blockers in front of him. I think he took his eye off the ball before he caught it.
And that's a shame, Ray, because he had 3 blockers out in front of him and only 1 Hurricane defender in his way. He could have rumbled for a first down with minimal opposition.
So it's 4th down and 11. They gambled last time on their own 40, but it was 4th down and 2. Back to receive the anticipated punt, Dylan Rice. Good snap that time and a high booming kick. Rice will let it go, and it's a flag down at about the 45-yard line. And I'm sure that's going to be based on the play just in front of the where the ball came down. Hartford play got wiped out.
Yeah, Ray, that's going to be. I think it's going to be against Greg Shin, number 12, the quarterback for Hartford. He was the gunner on Hartford's punt return team. I think he may have put obsessed a block in the back.
Well, he went down. The defender went down, and the person he ran over went down. Nobody injured. Rice had let the ball go. We'll wait for the call because right now the ball is going to be spotted at about the 32-yard line. Still no call here. And they're going to march off against the Hartford Hurricanes. You were right, illegal block to the back. Good eyes, Mr. Morse.
Penalty against Hartford for blocking from behind.
So that gives the Hurricanes the ball at the 22.5, 23-yard line with just under 6 minutes to go here in the first half. The two later for the Hartford Oil, turning up the heat play of the game. We've got a couple to consider already in this game. And the Hartford Hurricanes are going to take a timeout. We'll take it with them. 5:57 to go in the first half. And the YCU game of the week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
This portion of the YCU Game of the Week is brought to you in part by HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oil, your energy specialist.
Ball right now is spotted at about the 23-yard line. They have 77 yards to go, and they've got 5 minutes and 57 seconds to do it. They already lead at 13-0. Low snap and a direct snap. Busting up the middle and tearing down the field. This could be one play touchdown. Dropped down at the 26-yard line. John Bilecki.
Bilecki with a great run. Fantastic speed in the open field. He was brought down, but he took it off tackle, off left tackle, split it up, didn't take the wide side, took it directly north and south, and got himself a good chunk of yardage.
50-yard run. 50-yard run.
How's it going?
First down and 10. So I said they had 5 minutes, 57 seconds to go, 77 yards. They got 50 of it right there. Direct snap again. Fake the handoff, roll to the right, looking across the middle, and complete. Nice bobble on catch and concentration. That time, Keeper Harrelson on the catch. He bobbled it and then maintained his concentration and hauled it in for another first down for Hartford.
And that play took a little bit to develop. The receiver had to get 20 yards down the field, break it towards the middle. Good protection from the line and the running backs for Shin.
First down and goal to go for Hartford. Again, Shin back, he rolls right. He's going to keep it himself, puts his head down, and is brought down. Touchdown. 5-yard touchdown run for Greg Shin on a keeper. Rolled to the right, put the head down, squared his shoulders, and just pushed in. That was almost too easy, gentlemen.
And now the Hurricanes have pep in their step. 3-play drive.
3 plays.
Pass, run, bootleg, everything they could have wanted there. Coach Mike Stone must be happy with his Hurricane offense.
77 yards, and they did it in 47 seconds in 3 plays. Dylan Rice on to attempt the extra point. Good snap, there's the kick, and it's good. The Hartford Hurricanes have built their lead up with 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go to 20-0 over the Brattleboro Colonels. We're back after this timeout.
This YCN segment is brought to you by M.J. Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
This portion of the YCU Game of the Week is brought to you by DNA and Hospice of Vermont and New Hampshire, providing the highest quality home health care and hospice services to individuals and their families throughout the Connecticut River Valley region.
And the Hurricanes boot it. Goes by the short man. Finally picked up at the 10-yard line. Round to the left side, scramble. A bunch of blue jerseys again. Surround the runner and bring him down at about the 20. Well, the Colonels seem to have made up their mind now what they're going to call here in their first down and 10 with 5:03 to go in the first half. So I was saying they cannot be predictable this series. They've got to put something on the board. Again, they break over the left side, and again, they get maybe 2 yards.
That Hartford defensive
Ball carried
line.
that time, sorry, by Kyle Shippey.
And Shippey did not want to meet the Hartford defensive line as soon as he did. They were right on him. As soon as he got the ball, they were all over him. They give him no room to maneuver.
5'6", 165 pounds, and he's running into that Hartford defense. No, thank you. Second down and 8. He did pick up 2 yards in the process. 4:30 to go here in the first half. They send Gabriel split out to the slot left. They've got 3 players rolling to the left. Patno back to pitch. He does, and it's incomplete. Had to throw that across his body, being chased by some Hartford defenders.
Number 82 for the Hurricanes, Stefan Berman. He was applying pressure as the defensive end. His job is to have contain, not allow the quarterback to bootleg, get the sideline, put the defense in a bad position. But Burnham, he did his job, and he forced the incompletion.
3rd down and 8 for Brattleboro, and boy, have we said that a couple of times tonight, huh? 3rd down and 8, 4th down and 10, and they needed a pass play here. Tanner Freeman splits out wide to the right. Boswick goes wide left. Back to pass is Patno. He looks towards Boswick. Boswick is open, and he's caught it. He caught it at the 50-yard line. It was between Rice and him. They were scrambling for it, but Boswick definitely catches it, and they're going to spot it at the Brattleboro 49-yard line. That's what we need. That's what they need to do.
Exactly. The Colonels with a huge 3rd down conversion. They may have more yards on that one pass than they have in the first quarter and a half, but that is good for morale. Now they're rolling. They're right at the 50-yard line. They want to break into Hartford's territory. Let's see what they can do.
You don't have a 20-point play in your playbook, but the idea now is to win this series, and to win this series by putting 6 or 7 points on the board. Pitch the ball left side and drilled. Gavorio was absolutely drilled at the line of scrimmage. May have lost 2 yards.
And Nick Torino with a big stick on the far side of the field. He met him right at the line of scrimmage and drove him to the ground.
On a 2-yard loss, so that's going to bring up 2nd down and 12. Clock continues to run. 3:33 to go in the first half. They're down by 20 points.
And Ray, what the Colonels need is what the Hartford Hurricanes had last possession. They need chunk plays.
Yeah, they can't find themselves in a lot of 3rd and 8s and 4th and 7s. Desperation plays. Fake one handoff, pitch to the right side. Gavorio is run down and brought down again, that time by Nolan Viens, who's had a terrific game defensively.
And a sure tackle, kept his head up, drove low, wrapped up. That is great coaching. Viens displaying great form.
It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 3rd down and 9 for the Colonels. Ball still just short of the 50-yard line. Well, you're going to have a tough choice to coming up with 3 or 4 highlights here at halftime, huh?
Seems to be dominated by the Hurricanes, but the Colonels with some late passes in the first half.
Padno looks down the left sideline, got the receiver down there, and caught again. We got a flag down now. Here's the play. Is that going to be offensive pass interference or defensive pass interference? Hartford seems to believe it's going to be against the Colonels. It looked like number 25, and that is Tanner Freeman, pushed off.
Tanner Freeman had the defender right in front of him, Ray. The defender had no ability to push off, so I think it is offensive pass interference.
If it was against Hartford, it would be a big, big gainer for the Colonels, and they could do a lot with it, but they're already moving back. Pass interference, offense. So what could have been a big gainer is going to get moved the ball way back again. Game of the Week premieres every week on YCU, your local view. Sunday at 10:30 a.m. and replays at 1 and 5 p.m. or on demand anytime at ycunow.com. And next week, got a great game, Fall Mountain at Stevens. We'll be checking out the Cardinals and the Wildcats. Over from Barnes Park in Claremont, New Hampshire.
And Ray, something I like from this Hartford defense is they're learning from their mistakes. Earlier in this game, the Colonels got a 3rd down conversion off a QB sneak. Next 3rd down, the Hurricanes wedged up the center, didn't allow the sneak. The Colonels had a long pass play, but Patno put a lot of air under the ball, and the receiver had to come back for it. So what did the Hartford defensive back do? He turned around, found the ball, and forced the offensive pass interference.
And he also forced it to a 3rd and 25 for the Colonels. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Patno rolls left, looks to pass, gets away from one tackler, and is brought down in the backfield. Wrapped up by number 62, Patrick McGrath.
By 62, Patrick McGrath.
Also helped out by Luke LaFontaine.
And Patrick McGrath was somebody that Coach Mike Stone wanted to point out as a very, very good player. A solid lineman, goes both ways. And he's a force on either side of the football, right?
Has been. 4th down and 30. I can guarantee they're not going for this one. I guess their concern now is giving Hartford the ball with too much time. Rice and Perkins are back to receive the punt. And good snap, good kick. That goes to Perkins at about the 33, and he's down. The ball is loose. Rice is there to fall on it. Dangerous catch. Perkins lost it, but Rice was right there to fall on it, and Hartford maintains possession with just over a minute to go in the first half.
And that has to be really frustrating for the Colonels. They had a chance to get that ball back with good field position, a minute left. They could have got the ball at the 30, going in to score. It didn't bounce their way, and those footballs, they bounce in a peculiar fashion.
1st down and 10. The ball is at the Hartford 32.5-yard line. 62 ticks on the clock left. And again, up the middle, here we go. Tripped up at the last second. Labuda on another long gainer. He gets up to the 49-yard line.
Number 11.
Labuda has great open field moves. He's very shifty, but he keeps it north and south. He's not wasting any time getting where he's going.
17-yard pickup. Got an injured player on the field. And hobbling off the field for the Colonels, Michael Rooney, who has been one of the key players for them tonight. Nice hand by the Brattleboro and the Hartford fans. Hartford fans, you know, this Hartford town, notorious for their good sportsmanship. And they take it seriously. Clock running, 49 seconds to go in the first half. It's going to be around the right side. Labuda again, scrambles inside. He gets down to the 35-yard line. Another 14-yard pickup.
And Labuda looks to be the workhorse of Hartford this year. Last year they had Josh Claflin, and Coach Mike Stone, he likes a workhorse.
Labuda even gets off the field fast. Once they spot the ball, there we go, 37 seconds to go. Hartford trying to put it in. Ball on the ground. Shin remains calm under pressure, gets the pass off down the sideline, and driven out of bounds is Nick Torino, but not before he gets another 1st down, and that's right about the 20-yard line. They're just tearing up chunks of yardage here on the ground, in the air.
Exceptional awareness from Shin. Fumbled the snap.
Didn't lose poise at all.
And he had the ability to find an open receiver downfield.
Again, a low snap, but Shin grabs it over the middle. That was going to be complete to Dylan Rice. He's down to about the inside the 10. 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Hurricanes trying to pound it in. Under a minute to go. Shin under center this time. Spikes the ball. Stops the clock. Well, it stops it. It should have been stopped with about 18.4 to go. An extra second ran by. That was a strange looking spike, wasn't it?
And I think Shin got away with a little bit of a penalty there because he spiked the ball, but it hit an offensive lineman before it hit the ground, which is an illegal touching for the offense. Might have got away with something there.
Sure, it certainly wouldn't be a spike. It looked like it was a basketball player trying to get a high dribble. Just weird looking spike. 17 seconds to go. Let's stop the clock. 2nd down and goal. Shin will roll to the left side. Finds his receiver. Intercepted! Coming down the right sideline. One player to beat, and it's picked off that time. It looks like Alex Harrison.
Picked off that time by 32, Alex
Harrison picked it off and rumbles back to about the 35-yard line, where I'm sure Brattleboro they got one play, and if they're wise, they'll just take a knee and get out of here and regroup at halftime. But a nice play that time by Alex Harrison, right in front of the intended receiver. He read that one all the way.
An excellent interception. He undercut the route, the out-breaking route. and he denied the Hartford Hurricanes a late scoring opportunity.
They spot the ball at the 27. That's where he was pushed out of bounds. And the Colonel's going to put it up in the air. One last pass play here down the field. Batted away. And the clock, half second left. So the Colonels were trying to maybe throw it 35 yards, call a timeout with 1 second to go, throw it 35 yards and hope for defensive pass interference.
That's wishful thinking, Ray.
That's all they've got.
And what they need is some taller receivers. You can do that if you have a receiver maybe 6'2", 6'3", who can just jump up above the defenders. But their receivers are, they're normal height, 5'10", 5'11". It's tough to do that.
And their best receiver, Tanner Freeman's only 5'7". And Freeman will split out wide left this time. Rooney, who is 5'7", is in the slot. They're going to ball is loose on the ground. It won't matter. Clock's going to run out at the end of the first half. It's the Hartford Hurricanes 20 and the Brattleboro Curlers nothing. After this break, we'll show you the halftime highlights brought to you by Lake Sunapee VNA and Hospice and the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Welcome back, and let's take a look at the halftime highlights brought to you by Lake Sunapee VNA and Hospice. And Andy, what do you got for us?
What I got for you is a lot of Hurricanes running. We start off with Dylan Rice taking the ball off the left side. Nice fake by quarterback Greg Shin as Rice busts it to the left side. No one in his way. That's a 16-yard touchdown. And then it's Patrick Labuda, number 20, rumbling, breaking tackles down the far sideline. He will not be denied for a 30-yard touchdown. And to finish things off for the Hurricanes, it's John Bilecki with a 50-yard touchdown run. He cuts it up off tackle. Good kick-out block there from his blockers. And Bilecki is taken down, but not after getting 50 yards.
But is there anything good from the Colonels?
Of course. Late in the first half with under a minute to play, Harrelson takes it off the goal line with an interception from Greg Shin. He returns it about 30 yards and he denies the Hurricanes a late scoring opportunity. And that could be very important if the Colonels can mount a comeback here in the second half.
Well, right now, that's what they're doing. They're in their locker room discussing what they have to do to get back in this game. They're down 20-0. We'll be back with the second half kickoff right after this.
This YCN segment is brought to you by New London Hospital, an affiliate of Dartmouth Hitchcock.
This portion of the YCU Game of the Week is brought to you by New London Hospital, a community hospital committed to safe, quality care and a patient and family-centered care environment, resulting in a healthier community.
And welcome back as we get ready for the second half of play here. This is a scene of Main Street in White River Junction, taken by our colleague, Mr. David Nelson. Things aren't bad enough for the Colonels. They also have to kick the ball off to start the second half. So they're down 20-0, and they have to give the Hurricanes the ball. Back to receive the kick for the Hurricanes. Dylan Rice is back there. It looks like Torino. And it's going to be one of those line drive kicks. It is Torino. He's going to let it go out of bounds. Flag will fly. And Hartford will get the ball
skips out the sidelines.
30-yard line. First down and 10 for the Hurricanes. Stay tuned later on for the Kearsarge Oil turning up the heat play of the game. And you just saw at halftime, Andy picked up three Hartford plays that were key. And certainly a key one for the Brattleboro Colonels, because without that interception, we could be looking at a 27-0 game.
That's right, Ray. The Colonels, they had a couple defensive stands, but none was bigger than that last one they had, ended with the interception by Harrison.
Well, now they have to kick off again from their own 35-yard line.
We'll do it all again.
So once again, Torino is back there along with Dylan Rice. Now they've moved up to about the 15-yard line. We'll see if we get another one of those squib line drive end over end kicks. Because it would appear they don't want to put the ball up in the air. Nope, line drive, and it runs into a Hartford lineman at the 50. That's Taylor Thompson, senior tight end and co-captain. Ball nailed him, and he quickly fell on it. Good hands.
That was a senior play, Ray. As soon as the
it
ball
was.
hit him, he was on it.
Yeah, no hesitation. First down and 10 for the Hurricanes, and the ball is going to be right at the 50-yard line. Nose of the ball right at the 50. So the previous kickoff out of bounds comes back to haunt the Colonels. I think it's an understatement to say it's really incumbent upon Brattleboro to stop Hartford on this series. In motion, it's going to be Labuda, cut through the middle, now cuts to the side and brought down. Good leg tackle that time, brought him down. Michael Rooney on the tackle. Also helping out on the tackle was Alex Harrison again. So Rooney and Harrison stop another touchdown run, but it's a gain of about 11 yards.
And Labuda, who was the star for the Hurricanes in the first half, picks up right where he left off. He looks natural in the open field.
Dynamite speed, huh? He's got over 400 yards now for the season. First down and 10. Ball at the 38. They'll go up the middle that time, and initially brought down at the 35, but kept that on fighting. I think that was Torino, who it was. No, excuse me. It was John Bielecki.
Bielecki broke a 50-yard run in the first half. Hurricanes have a stable of running backs to choose from. I think a lot of running backs are going to get a lot of chances here in the second half, up by 20.
Alex Harrison also into the tackle, and he has played a very, very good game for the Colonels, even though they're down 20-0. He has played a very good ball game tonight. Second down and 3 for Hartford. It's going to be Shin on the keeper. Goes to the left, gets nothing, tries going to the right, and gets run over.
He gets run over by number 88 of the Colonels, Kevin Tao. He stands 6 feet 210. He's an imposing senior, and he showed Greg Shin what he was all about in that defensive stand.
Yeah, Shin tried to fake left, fake right, and then just ran into Tao. Brings up a third down and 3 with 10:30 to go here in the third quarter. Checking out for the Hurricanes. Athena checks out. So third down and 3. Let's see what Mike Stone's got in his pocket for this one. Straight ahead. It looks like Labuda just banging his way for a first down. He does. You know, he's not only got great speed, he's got a lot of strength.
A lot of strength, and he knows when to flex it. He doesn't run up the gut of his offensive lineman. He gives them 1 step, 2 steps to make their blocks, and then he hits the hole hard. Very, very good form by Labuda.
First down and 10, 10:06 to go in the third quarter. Next week, we've got Fall Mountain at Stevens football for you from Barnes Park in Claremont. Labuda was in motion. He takes the handoff, sweeps right, and picks up maybe 3 or 4 yards.
And I have to give commendation to this Hartford offensive line. There has been little penetration from the Colonels' defense. The Hartford offensive line have become a solid wall.
Second down and 8 after the 2-yard pickup. Clock running. Hartford in no hurry. They don't need to be. They're up by 20. Coming off a loss 28-12 last week, but to a powerhouse Massachusetts team. One that they actually led at one point. Good block. Shin rolls left and cannot avoid the tackle and brought down. Tackle made by, again, Alex Harrison.
And Harrison looks to be the Colonel's best defensive player in space, especially. He's
just a sophomore.
And that is good. That is good for the future of the Colonel's defense, because he strung Shin out all the way to the sideline and fought through a straight on.
Third down and 3 for the Hurricanes. Clock continues to run, 8:40. Big tackle, Willie Dodd, leads him out of the huddle. It's going to be Labuda again, puts his hand down to gain his balance, and picks up an extra 2 yards that way.
Good block by the pulling guard. Left guard, Bailey Knott, pulled around, sealed the end, allowed the running back to hit the hole off tackle, sealing penetration.
Stephen Burnham checks in. Checking out is Taylor Thompson for the Hurricanes. Yeah, we should really talk a little bit more about this offensive line of the Hartford Hurricanes because they have done just a masterful job tonight. Under center this time it's Shin. He'll hand the ball off. Left side. Labuda tripped up. Good tackle that time. Tackle made by number 22, Jake Gaborio.
And Gaborio beat his man. He was blocked. He ripped through with his left arm, ripped through, got clean, made the tackle. That is good defensive play. And Colonel's going to need a little bit more of that.
Hurricanes in their home opener, as I said earlier, they've only got 3 home games this year. 3-time defending state champions, and they've been title game God knows how many times in the last decade. And not enough people talk about Mike Stone as being the premier coach, and certainly in Division I, and I think he's proven it over and over again. Shin fakes the handoff, sweeps to the right side, looks downfield, decides to tuck it and run with it. He's got some room on the left. He dekes one defender. He cuts towards the end zone. He's going to be just short of about the 1-yard line. He made something out of nothing at that time.
And how decisive was that? He was rolling to his right on the bootleg looking for receivers. No one there. He cut it back against the grain, and he raced to the pylon. I thought he was in. He knocked the pylon to the ground, but the referees thought differently.
They're spotting it just at about the 1.5 yard line. Where the Hurricanes look to build their lead to 4 touchdowns here. Clock stopped with 7:03 to go in the 3rd quarter. Handoff. Labuda sidesteps his way in for another touchdown.
Yep, that's easy money for the Hartford Hurricanes. That right side of the offensive line collapsed the defensive line of Brattleboro, pushed him into the end zone, and Labuda waltzed in for his 2nd score of the night.
25-0, 6:58 to go here. 26-0, beg your pardon. Dylan Rice attempting the extra point. Line drive kick is up. It is good. 6:58 to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Hartford Hurricanes lead it 27-0. We're back right after this timeout on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
This portion of the YCU Game of the Week is brought to you by MJ Harrington and Company Jewelers, a small-town family-owned jewelry store in Newport, New Hampshire, dedicated to craftsmanship and quality service.
27-0, the Hartford Hurricanes lead it. We once again take a look at nearby Queechee Gorge. It's absolutely gorgeous, spectacular sight, and especially this time of year when the fall foliage kicks in. Speaking of kicking in, Hartford's going to be kicking off again. Nick Torino, one of the many seniors on this squad. Line drive kick, bounces off a Brattleboro player, it's up for grabs, Hartford's got it.
And that one play is a microcosm for the whole game. The ball bounced right to the Hartford player. They're getting the breaks and they're making the plays.
Bounced right off Matt Forrett's hands. You know, Matt is a offensive lineman. You don't expect him to be ready for it, and he bounced right off him. Hartford quickly grabs it, and with a 27-0 lead, they've got the ball again.
Boy, that's tough for morale for the Colonels. They're going to have to get their defense rallied up. They need to stop here.
Kiefer Harrelson puts out near side left. Hartford looks a little confused. Labuda is in the backfield, along with Nolan Viennes. And quarterback Greg Shin now settles in under center. Puts Labuda in motion. Fakes the handoff to him. Long pass down the field. He's got a receiver down there. It's dropped. Rice was the intended receiver, and it looked like he may have been interfered with, but no one's complaining.
And what the problem was for the Colonels there was that their defensive back, number 25, Tanner Freeman, he didn't turn around and locate the ball. He did run into Rice, it seemed like, but there was no penalty called, but he didn't locate the ball, and he's fortunate that he didn't get flagged for it.
Not what the Colonels need at this point. They were demolished last week, and they're about to get manhandled again. They said Hartford coming off that loss to powerful Catholic Memorial last week, and played very much in that game. Handoff, and it's going to be up the middle. It looks like Viennes, and he'll carry it to about the 40-yard line.
Nolan Viennes on the carry right up the middle for Hartford.
And in the middle of things there was number 55, Bailey Knott. He's just a freshman, but he is part of an offensive line that pushed the line of scrimmage 5 yards back from the original line of scrimmage, moving the Colonels backwards. He is part of a line that has been very impressive tonight.
3rd down and 5. And Labuda, right side, follows his blockers down the right sideline and is brought down after the first down.
Labuda stays on his feet long enough to get a Hartford first down.
Ray Labuda, I'm impressed with him. When he gets in space, the first man does not bring him down. Nobody is getting a clean shot at Labuda. Nobody's getting a nice big hit in the open field. He's shifty, he's quick, and he's using it all tonight.
Using every bit of it. We're talking about this offensive line and names like Willie Todd and Bailey Knott and Patrick McGrath, Josh Avery. Boy, they have just done a number on the defensive line of the Brattleboro Colonels. And again, they push forward, cut back inside, cuts it back outside, and boy, a touchdown saving tackle by Rooney. Hartford had 6 more on the board.
And this Colonel defense is tired. They're getting the ball shoved down their throats. The Hartford offensive line is gaining steam, gaining confidence. They're marching down the field quickly.
Junior Tarun Manthina on the run. His first carry. Kiefer Harrelson was put out wide right. The ends in the backfield. In motion, Labuda. Labuda carries it, cuts it back inside, puts his head down, and it's going to be stopped at about the 1 yard line. We're going to bring up a second down.
Second down for Hartford.
5:10 to go. Hartford is almost at that point where we're going to be faced with a running clock. 35-point lead automatically kicks it in. Both coaches can agree to it prior to it reaching that point. Right now, Hartford just wants to slam in another touchdown. Got Viennes in the backfield. Labuda is in motion. He'll carry it again. Roll to his right, cut it back inside. Get tackled and brought down short at about the 1 yard line. Good effort by the Colonels to keep it from getting in. Tackle made that time by number 15. Yeah, Rooney was on the tackle again.
And Rooney started the tackle, and fortunately his teammates helped him out. They rallied together because they needed more than one man to bring the ball carrier to the ground. This Hartford running back stable, they're strong.
Very, very. 4:10 to go, 4:15 to go, beg your pardon, in the third quarter. Let no one think the Hartford Hurricanes, even though they lost so many great players from last year, aren't in this to stay this year. Glad to report that the play clock is working. And a handoff up the middle, touchdown Hartford.
Nothing pretty about that, Ray. They slammed it in back of left guard, and that was the 5th touchdown for the Hurricanes tonight.
That was Viennes on the carry. He gets his first touchdown on a 1 yard run. Number 36, Nolan Viennes. He's a senior fullback. Came into the game with 160 yards rushing. Adds to it there, and touchdown run there. 1 yard run for the Hurricanes. Comes with 3:57 to go. Extra point is up, and it is good. 34-0, 3:57 to go in the third quarter on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Hurricanes ready to kick off, and while we wait for the kickoff, watch the YCU News at 6 p.m. every day and replays at 6:30, 11, and 11:30 p.m. TV News is back in the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region on YCU, your local view. Nick Torino ready to boot it for the Hurricanes. Line drive kick. That bounces off the hands of Boswick. I thought it did, but again, they're going to say it went in the end zone and it'll be a touchback. 3:55 to go. So I'm asking you as a coach now, Andy, if you're the coach of the Colonels and you're down 34-0, you haven't reached that automatic 35-point running clock thing, do you say to Mike Stone, let's get it running, get the kids off the field?
I do, because this is a little demoralizing for the Colonels. It's going to be a long season. This is only their third game, but they can take some positives from this, but they do need to get this clock running because experience is important, but so is the morale of your team.
They try a handoff sweeping left, and it goes nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Which is really where most of the running plays have gone tonight, nowhere.
Yeah, the Hurricanes have controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and they're imposing their will, and they're going to continue to do so.
The Colonels bring in a couple of new players. Dylan Rice still out there on defense for Hartford. Tyler Searles is still out there. Pitch the ball to the right side. Nothing there. Cuts it inside. Nothing there. Brought down. Rice on the tackle. And he was helped out on the tackle by number 46, John Bielecki.
38 for the Hurricanes, Torin Mathena. He had to contain in that play.
Yeah, he
did his job. Bill Belichick would be proud of that.
Yeah.
He did his job. He contained the play, did not allow the sweep to bounce outside. Forced it inside where his teammates could help him out, clean it up.
Third down coming up for the Colonels. Third down and 9. They have the ball at their own, we're going to call it 21-yard line. Play clock down to 10 seconds. Padno back. Rolls to his left, now rolls to his right. A little flare pass out on the right side. And it's got potential. But I think Oaks who caught the ball. 10th grader. He's going to be stopped after about a 3-yard pickup. And it's going to bring up fourth down.
And Ray, what we're seeing from the Colonels on offense, it's a formula. They run on third and long, they pass. I want to see them mix it up. I want to see some passes on first down. Exactly, Ray. Some passes on first down and some screens on second down. Make things different.
Perkins back to receive the expected punt. There it is, a high kick. Hurricanes get out of the way and let it roll. And it's going to roll down to about the 37-yard line, so a good punt. But Hartford will take over first down and 10 with 1:38 to go here in the third quarter. We'll be back with their first offensive play right after this timeout on YCU.
This YCN segment is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
Hurricanes first down and 10 with a 34-point lead, 1:38 to go in the third quarter. New quarterback under center, pitched the ball to the left side. That is Jacob Perkins on the carry. Bryce Landon is in the game now at quarterback. Bryce is a sophomore. And Greg Shin's work for the night is over. Dylan Rice checks out of the game.
Now this Hartford Hurricanes team, they got a lot of players to funnel in, but don't mistake them for an inexperienced team. They returned 28 upperclassmen from last season's undefeated title team.
Walker Judd in motion, takes the pitch, cuts through the middle, runs into some defensive players there, but still rolls ahead for about a 6-yard pickup. One of the players he ran into was a guy who has not had the impact in this game I thought he might, and that is Shekler Jacour. You know, they've managed to run around him, through him. He's made a couple good plays, but for the most part, the big guy hasn't had an impact in this game at all.
And what they're doing, Hartford offensive line is taking away his space. They're doubling him. They're not allowing him to extend his arms and read where the ball is going.
Pitch, ball is dropped, then picked back up again. Walker Judd going to lose about 4 on the play, but he did well to keep control of the ball. 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. That may well have been the final play of the fourth quarter, because I don't think Hartford's in any hurry to run the play. And that'll be the final play of the quarter. I'm sure nobody's lining up. So we'll be back with fourth quarter action right after this on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
This portion of the YCU Game of the Week is brought to you in part by HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oil, your energy specialist.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action here on the YCU Game of the Week. There's the scene of the White River Junction welcome sign, and I'm not sure Brattleboro Colonels feel too welcome tonight, but thank Dave Nelson for that photograph. It is 4th down and 7. The Hurricanes punting. Line drive kick. It's going to bounce down to the 30 and roll back the other way and down by the Hurricanes at about the 33-yard line. They'll take over first down and 10 with 11:49 to go in this ball game. Colonels taking over first down and 10 here in the fourth quarter, down by 34 points. Patna wrapped up and thrown down for another loss.
Officer
flag on the play.
Number 22, Jake Gabriel.
Oh, fake me out. What was it?
7 on that play.
That was a nice sweep, an option sweep there for Tanner Freeman.
Completely thrown up by Patna getting drilled. A first down? No. A second down. Carry of 6.
And that's some good misdirection for the Colonels when they can fake out.
Well, as you pointed out during the timeout, the Hurricanes now with a lot of clean jerseys out there. Up the middle run, and for the first down and more. Running back number 22.
Rooney right up the middle for Brattleboro, plenty for a first down.
Right at the 50-yard line. So what I want to say is this is our third broadcast of the season, and you have yet to see a game that wasn't a shutout by one of these, by the pictures.
Yes, that's correct, Ray. I am learning what it's all about to dominate in high school football.
So for you, it's really the YCU shutout of the week, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see if we can end that with the Colonels tonight. Wrapped up at the Hurricane 49. Not much there. Bring up a second down.
And Ray, I want to see a touchdown for the Colonels, and so do the Colonels, because the casual observer might see the score and say none of what happens right now matters, but it's a long week of practice in football. And the kids at high school, they know what is coming up for them on Friday night. So if they can get a score here, they can feel good about themselves all week.
Oh, I agree. That last tackle was keyed by Stephen Burnham, by the way. Pitched the ball to the right side, and not a whole lot there. Again, the Hurricanes, Cameron Gaudette.
Tripped up by Cameron Gaudette, along with Nick Torino.
Heard that name a lot tonight, Gaudette, Torino.
They're the players on the edge for the Hurricanes, because since their defensive line is so stout, the Colonels have been forced to rush the edge right at those two defenders, and they're earning their dinners tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, the cornerbacks have come up to shut down anything on a sweep. This time they go up the middle and they get 3 yards.
Gabriel right up the gut for Brattleboro.
L'Oreal for 3, and he's got now a fourth down coming up. So another fourth down decision for Brattleboro. You know, at this point, you're down 34-0. You're in Hartford territory. You certainly, I wouldn't think, are going to punt. You might as well go for it.
No, and that plays into the aggressive offensive play calling that we have talked about before. Pass on first down, get yourself 5 yards, then you can pound the ball. You'll probably get a first down, or at least improve your odds.
Kicks the ball to the right side, and going to be short. So the Hurricane defense, filled with a bunch of clean jerseys, as you point out, stops them. Hartford will take over first down and 10 with 8:58 to go. The ball will be at their own 44-yard line. And we'll get to that right after this timeout on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
Hurricanes looking to build on a 34-0 lead, probably looking just to run out the clock and not get anybody hurt. They'll hand the ball off that time. That looks like Dominic Torino, sophomore, but I could be wrong.
A lot of fresh faces everywhere, right?
That was by Lucky on the carry. Second down and 5, clock running, 8:35 to go.
So I've been keeping my eye on the very, very large Shekna decor of the Colonels. And something that Hartford offensive line is doing is they're cutting him, taking him out right at the knees.
Mancina runs it down to about the 40-yard line of Brattleboro for another Hartford first down. Mancina, that's his second big carry of the night.
I think there was a fumble, Ray.
Collected up by Brattleboro.
And he did, and the Colonels have the ball back, and maybe we'll get lucky.
I want to score. They're at their own 40-yard line, as the PA announcer just informed you.
B.J. Ockoff took over for John Campbell, Senator John Campbell, who did the PA job for years, and this is B.J.'s 4th year here. Does a great job and very courteous to us up here in the press box tonight. I want to thank him for all of his help. First down and 10 for the Colonels. They're 60 yards away from the end zone. Can they get in? Pass play. He's got a receiver down there, and he overthrows Max Boswick. And Boswick was 5-6 yards and past any defender. But they did what you suggested. Came out throwing.
I think our headsets are wired into Coach John Callahan over there on the far sideline, head coach of the Colonels. He opened it up on first down, and the Hurricanes were not suspecting that deep pass.
That's one thing I wanted to mention. John Callahan, who was just taking over the program recently, and this guy's been a successful coach everywhere he's gone. I have no doubt that it may not be this year and it may not be next year, but certainly within the next 2 years, Brattleboro's going to be a force to be reckoned with again in Vermont Division I football. Second down and 10. Again, Patno back to throw. He's harassed, chased out of the pocket, and brought down.
Nothing there that time for Patno.
Tackle made by Josh Avery. Gained a yard, so you can't call it a sack. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 9.
And Ray, back to your point about Coach John Callahan. He was on the coaching staff for Mount St. Joseph back in 2005. And he knows what it's like to beat Hartford, as they did that season. But it is not an easy task to beat these Hurricanes. They
not many people have. Up until this year, they haven't lost them for 2 years. It is 3rd down, and we're going to call it about 9 for the Colonels. Back to pass again. The only person he's going to hit this time is just like Cameron Gaudette on the interception. He'll run it back up the middle of the field, cut to the left. Gets by one would-be tackler to the 50, the 45, down to the 40, and brought down there. Right back into Brattleboro territory. Cameron Gaudette, defensive back with the interception. Flag down on the way after the play. So we've got to see what this is. It looks like this is coming back, and we'll get the call here. Personal foul. No, it's a block in the back. So that's going to bring it back. Instead of being at the Brattleboro 40-yard line, that's going to move it back, way back. That's a big penalty. I think it's going back to the Hartford 30. And that's where they'll start. So that's a 30-yard penalty, really.
I was really impressed with the Hartford defense blocking, but it was a little too good in that play.
Yeah, it's a lot easier when you block somebody in the back. It's a lot easier to take them out of the play. But Hartford with the ball and 7:11 to go in the ball game. 34-0 lead. Hurricanes looking to come back from 2 consecutive losses. That's something you rarely hear.
Yeah, right. This is a winning program. 2 undefeated seasons, 2010, 2011, 2012. That's 3 championship years in a row. Very impressive run for the Hurricanes.
Well, they were about to go to 2-2 in the season. They'll be 2-1 in Division I. Brattleboro's going to fall to 1-3, and they'll be 0-3 in the division. Who's Hartford got next? Well, it's a name they should remember.
It is. It's Bellows Free Academy, and that is their I'm not going to say a rival because they're no longer in the same division as Bellows Free, but they played Bellows Free twice. One time in the state title game last season.
And a close game it was. Second down and 11 for the Hurricanes. But bust up the middle. That's going to pick up about 5 or 6 yards. And on the carry, Brandon Gaudette, sophomore. Checking into the game is Tyler Diaz. And checking out for the Hurricanes, Stephen Burnham. Third down and 5 for the Hurricanes. Clock is running, 6:05 to go. Coming up at the end of the game are Kearsarge Royal turning up the heat play of the game. Pitch to the right side. Looking for some blocking, but brought down after about a 2-yard gain. That is Walker Judd, sophomore running back on the carry. So these players are guys who, it's always nice to see when you get a big lead and you're able to get the kids who come to practice every day, not expected to play, but when you get a chance to play, it all pays off.
And they look like a true team. Everyone's up on the edge of the sidelines, encouraging the younger kids on. You practice with these guys, you spend a lot of time with them, and you really want to encourage them. It makes the younger kids learn what it's like to be an upperclassman.
Fourth down, punting situation for Hartford, 4th and 3. Low snap, but good boot, and it's going to bounce about the 40-yard line. And that's where now it's going to roll down to the 36. So a good punt.
Brattleboro will take over on offense from their own 37-yard line. 5 minutes and 2 seconds left in the game.
Just 5:02 to go here as Hartford kicks it off to Brattleboro. Brattleboro ready to go on 1st down and 10. That comes up next on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Colonels trailing at 34-0, 5 minutes to go. They would love nothing more than to put some points on the board. They'll hand it off the right side and pick up to the 44-yard line. Healthy gain that time.
Number 29, Adam McPhail for Brattleboro on the carry.
That's a positive first down play for them. It's good to break the string of up-the-gut stuffs for the Hartford defensive line. They finally broke through, got about 8 yards, 7 yards there.
Yeah, you were talking about Brattleboro wanting to put some points on the board. At this point, with 4:30 to go in the game, Hartford would like nothing more than to pitch the shutout. So we'll see what happens. Right side hand, a flip, and a first down and more as the ball is carried by Adam McPhail.
McPhail on the carry again for Brattleboro.
McPhail, good vision there. He was headed towards the sideline trying to get it to the first down marker. And he saw an overexcited Hartford defender. He cut it back, and that gave him enough room and enough space for the first down.
First down and 10 in Hartford territory, down to about the 47.5-yard line. 4:20 to go. Clock is running. So it looks like they've gone to the running clock because there was no stop even after they moved the chains. Handoff that time, and that's impressive. Watching Kyle Patnow charge up the middle and continue to buck. Well, he got hit and he kept pushing, and he picked up about 6 yards in the process.
I like what I see out of Patnow tonight. When I talked to Coach John Callahan, he was impressed with Patnow's throwing, but I like how he's stuck in there all game, and he's pushed it in the middle. He's thrown it on the outside. He's been a complete performer for the Colonels.
And he has been hammered a number of times and just sprung right back up. Right now he's looking a second down, call it a long 4, short 5. They'll hand the ball off, cut it inside, and a first down and more for the Brattleboro Colonels.
And there was a swarm of tackles on the Hurricanes, but they needed it. Because the running back for the Colonels, number 22, Gabbero, he was chugging, and he kept those legs churning. He was not to be denied. He got a first down for his team.
First down and 10, and the ball now, 34. Patnow under center, trying to keep the drive going. Then hand it off to 34. That's Jack O'Coop. And he runs it down to about the 15-yard line. So they are knocking on the door.
They might score.
Whoa. Jacko Coop, where did he come from? That's a very nice run by him. He broke 3 arm tackles and he bounced it outside. That's what you want from the Colonels, some late energy.
Another sophomore. Clock down to 3:05. And running 34-0 in favor of the Hartford Hurricanes.
From the Hartford 17-yard line.
Even spotted all the way back at the 17 now. First down and 10. Pitch the ball to the right side again. Sweep down the right side and run out of bounds. That was Adam McPhail. He is a senior running back, just short of the end zone. They are about the 2-yard line. And Andy's streak is about to end, I think.
I'm excited. I want to see some points for the Colonels. The Brattleboro Colonels have battled all game long, and they need something to walk away with on the scoreboard.
Reminds me of what that Springfield effort when they were down to Woodstock by about 60 points and came right down to the goal line. Couldn't punch it in. We were both rooting for him to do it. Brattleboro with the ball at the 2. First down and goal to go. Handing the ball off now. Keeper himself, Patno, leans and not in. He got hit and he tried to lean to his left to fall forward. Ball spotted at about the 1-yard line. 2:15 to go. Second down, goal to go for the Colonels.
Yeah, Patno took it himself, but he got shoe-shined. Low tackle prevented him from getting over the goal line.
He is going to be one sore young man tomorrow. Clock running, 2 minutes to go in the ball game. The verdict, the outcome of the game has not been in doubt since early midway through the first half. But now, can Hartford pitch that shutout? Can the Colonels put some points on the board? Second down, goal to go. Patno. Hand the ball off. Touchdown. Touchdown for Adam McPhail.
Number 21, Adam McPhail, in for a Brattleboro touchdown.
Goes off the right side. Didn't square up. He just leaned left and fell in. And the Colonels put some points on the board, and your streak, young man, is over.
Good to see the Colonels punch it in. McPhail bounced off a tackle into the end zone. He's going to remember that one. That's the Colonels' first score of the night.
34-6 in favor of the Hurricanes with 1:39 to go in the contest. Not going to see an onside kick, are we? No, I don't think so. I was wondering what Hartford would do, go for 1 or 2, and they're going to go for 2. Excuse me, for 1. Ryan Fontaine is on to attempt the extra point. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is good. So 34-7, 1:39 to go on the YCU Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
Time for us now to take a look at the Kearsarge Oil turning up the heat play of the game. And Andy, what do you got?
Well, it has to be awarded to number 20, Patrick Labuda, the senior running back. Took the handoff and broke it right, broke through a couple tackles, and then he showed his speed racing down the right sideline into the end zone. A very impressive night, a very impressive run, and that is worthy of the Kearsarge Oil heating up play of the game.
34-7 in favor of the Hurricanes, 1:39 to go. Brattleboro will kick off, and I'm sure we're going to see the Hurricanes just go into a kneel down and run this clock out. Don't forget to tune in every week for a new Kearsarge Chronicle or Upper Valley Chronicle. They premiere at 6 and 6:30 every Saturday, right here on YCU, your local view. And the kickoff rolls down to Perkins. He takes it at the 30, gets clothesline, and brought down at about the 35-yard line. 1:32 to go. Game of the Week premieres every week on YCU, your local view on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Replays at 1 and 5 p.m. Or you can watch it on demand anytime at YCUnow.com. And next week we see Fall Mountain at Stevens. And that should be a competitive game. But Andy's shutout streak is over.
Happy about that. Good to see some scoring from each side. This may be a little more competitive game, and we're going to have that next week.
Hartford will take a knee. Yeah, we should have one next week with Fall Mountain and Stevens.
Hartford likes to take a knee.
I do want to thank Athletic Director Joe James and all the folks here at Hartford High School for their hospitality. And again, our thanks to B.J. Ocker, the gentleman to my right, who was so helpful before the game, getting us set up in our spot here. And pleasure to meet the fellas, see the fellas again from our colleagues down the road at Brattleboro Radio Station. And Hartford takes their home opener, three-time defending state champion.
Brattleboro fans for making the trip up to support your team.
And there's a snap, and we'll come up with a third down play. Final thoughts in this game, Andy?
I think this is Hartford back to business. 2 undefeated seasons, but entering this season, they lost 14 players to graduation, had 2 losses in a row. Now they're back on the winning side of things, and they're headed to a very good team next week when they play Bellows Fall Free Academy. It's going to be a tough game for Hartford next week, but they're going to be better served from getting this win here tonight.
Home opener in front of an absolutely huge crowd here. No surprise the Hurricanes come back, play their home opener in front of just a huge crowd here at Hartford High School. That is going to be the final play of the game. That is going to wrap it up. Final score is 34-7 in favor of the Hartford Hurricanes. We want to thank Dave Nelson for joining us tonight. As always, Andy Morris, a pleasure working with you. And all the folks here at YCU. We've got the greatest camera crew in the business. Final score 34-7 in favor of the Hartford Hurricanes. Next week, Tall Mountain and Stevens. We'll see you then. So long, everybody.